Yeah, very happy to see that. We just have to do our part, and and assisting and waking the sleeping giants up. Okay, so like I said before, please follow, like, and subscribe Polka Dot Rabbit podcast, and share as well. We're trying to get these messages, these good young brothers, and the great young guests out. Definitely trying to get them out there in this information. Saying very informative information. As you haven't, if you haven't already, if you haven't already, and some of y'all haven't, please go to polka.rabbitpodcast.com and pick up my book, Bicultural Living and Leaving the World of Illusions.
I need to start
This
reading,
book,
man.
people always talk about, always ask me why the diversity of this show, the diversity of me traveling around the world playing in rock bands, black rock bands, and travel around the world meeting people. It's all in the book, and it'll explain a lot why I'm able to navigate amongst a whole bunch of different genres of people, you know, information, and etc. You know what I'm saying? So, and of course, my upcoming book too is coming as well. So we'll talk about that later. That's it for me. I got a debut, a debut tonight. I love these debuts. These debuts make me happy, man.
Make me
we
happy
got a
too,
day.
man.
We got Rob the One. So go ahead, Rob. Tell them who you are, what you do, what you got going on. Let's go from there.
Some of y'all know me as Rob. Some of y'all know me as Lil Swoosh, man. I'm a rapper, still do that. Uh, Innovator, motivator, public speaker now. And I just really want to just be myself, honestly. I want to be Ramaj as well. I want people to come here and see me and just know that honestly I'm being myself, bro. It's not like, oh, this is for show. I genuinely want to help people when I say half the things that I do say. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
now I want to open this up with my story and the fact that, like, born where I come from, where I came up, got a lot to do with systematic racism. Before I even get there, my birthday being 11/11, and when I was younger, had a lot to do with my guidance. But a lot of people see how much I put that out there, and they think that's just what I'm strutting. With my ego aside, God had to do with me finding out everything about myself. You get what I'm saying? Like, I might not have known nothing I know about myself now without God. You get what I'm saying? So I feel as though when you was a child, before your mother taught you how to use a fork, bro, you ain't know how to use it. You learn, you are taught things, you are then apprehended to learn more about it. It's just like, you feel me, the simplest things in life. But yeah, I just wanted to say, when I was young, I found finding God amidst chaos a big thing, especially in the hood. And like niggas like me, it's one thing we don't speak on. It's like, with the everyday struggle, when you can find some peace in that, it's valuable, bro. Like, that shit means something. It really do. Now, when you got so much to challenge who you are as a person, especially being a neuromelanated being, it it is what it is. But we got to realize our value, because nothing's gonna remind us, and we have to be here for each other as well. So, like, with me telling my story and me coming up from the hood, me having the same struggles, shout out to my moms, shout out to my pops. I can say life was good because of them, but I did not
Hmm.
avoid struggle. The struggle was bad. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Being from Chester, so I just want to say before I start this joint, shout out Elu, shout out to Shay, shout out Josie, shout out Just, shout out YP from when I was younger, shout out Rashad Jamal, Shirzad Ali, Bobby Hemmett, Terry Patterson, XXX, Dolores Cannon, Prince Michael, Ambassador Prince Michael, Abraham Hicks, Dr. York for the Holy Tablets, plus more. You get what I'm saying? Um, all these people for just sharing knowledge among the journey. Like, you get what I'm saying? While I was doing all this, all these people helped me and taught me, and that's what we all got puzzle pieces for, to teach each other. We just realized that, you get what I'm saying? Like, we all possess all these energies for a reason. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, we're gonna speak on a lot of that today, but I might have just even said a lot starting this joint
No,
out.
no, you good. You good. No, that's good, man. So what were some of the obstacles that you had, growing up?
I mean, you got childhood trauma. That's the biggest thing that everybody's shaky about. What you
Hmm.
go through would make you shake from when you were being a young boy. But my
Hmm.
whole thing with that, right? coming into being a grown man or a grown woman, you have to learn how to protect your inner child. You have to learn who your inner child is because you have to realize, hey, your inner child was your inner child, and that dies at a certain moment. You can make it live again. You can make your inner child live again, but you have a certain moment where you grow into the world and into awareness where your inner child quite literally you must become an adult. You must experience adulthood, and we all know that. You get what I'm saying? I used to wonder why people used to
Mm-hmm.
always tell me, "Enjoy while you a kid now. Enjoy it now while you still a kid." I used to wonder. You get what I'm saying? I used to always try. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? You try and grow up fast, be a kid. You get what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
one of my challenges, one of my biggest challenges, I could say was like still believing in myself through everything that was going on. You get what I'm saying? Like I'll be real
Mm-hmm.
with you. Like people always would say I had like a lot of confidence, which I did because I just did that shit. You get what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I think it came more so from me like wanting to see if I could do this shit and just doing it. Like God gave me the heart to do half the shit I did.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's so much more behind that shit, bro. Like it's so much more behind that shit, bro. Like when I find passion in something, it's because, especially art, it's because I've been doing that shit for a minute and it was making me feel a certain way in my soul. If I don't feel a certain way in my soul about some shit, I can't do it for a long time. I
Mm-hmm.
won't do it for a long time. If I don't vibrate with it, I won't do it. So coming up in my city, if you ain't believing yourself doing some shit, you wasn't getting nowhere doing some shit. Cause who the fuck was gonna believe in you, especially up against these harsh conditions? You get what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna make that shit my card all day, but it was what it was. Motherfuckers don't talk about this enough. It is a real thing. It is a real
Mm-hmm.
thing coming up out. You feel me? Certain situations like, and it's a lack of opportunities. Honestly, that's all it is. You get what I'm saying? And it's we had an education or what we call education for it, but past that, that doesn't come with self awareness. And like as I was growing up, self belief. How you gonna believe in yourself if you don't know who you are? And we were speaking on
Mm-hmm.
struggles. I wanted to speak on one of the topics today was like my generation, Gen Z, and quantum entanglement. A lot of the
Mm-hmm.
shit we do be having a lot to do with like other shit, bro. And we
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even be peeping that shit. Like small action that we got to do, we might just think we trendsetters, yada yada yada. Like, bro, we motivating the youth, bro. They watching us. We gotta remember when we was watching that shit. You get what I'm saying? And it did a lot for me personally. I'm going to shout out to everybody in my future that inspired me because I don't have no problem. Excuse me, I don't have no problem telling these people that they inspired me. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And it's like
Yeah.
basically, long story short, yeah, one of my biggest struggles, some of my obstacles really came from self-belief, getting down about myself, beating myself the fuck up, thinking that that shit, I'm just gonna end up a product of my environment. You get what I'm saying? That shit
Mm.
is the that shit really take your
That's the
mind. You get what I'm
program.
saying?
That's the program that yeah that's been placed in front of you.
Some real shit. But
Yeah, that's the it's
then you
like
losing people you know at the same time.
yeah
My
yeah yeah.
childhood best friend from I was born in Chester. I moved to Norristown and I moved back. My childhood best friend died from over there. And I got a lot of people that died from over here. My
Yeah.
uncle tatted on me. He died from over here, over Chester when I lived in Chester. Shit
Mm-hmm.
crazy, you get what I'm saying? But you keep
Yeah
going. Everything keep going. Nobody talk
yeah
about that.
yeah.
Niggas go to the military. People go to the military. They come home fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody. Some people be fucked up though. From
Mm-hmm.
having best friends, people in the military dying and shit. You get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna speak on this too crazy, but nobody speaks on the fact that niggas is around this shit. You get what I'm saying? It's no shit in the hood for open therapy. Not saying that you have to go through a therapist. You can do self therapy, but I'm just saying like these things would help certain people. You get what I'm
Well,
saying? If they
no,
was
you
available and free.
you said a very something that's very interesting because you started off earlier because you were talking about Dr. York, you were talking about Bobby Hemmett. One thing that I think is very interesting about this generation is like when I hear younger people talk about Dr. York, Bobby Hemmett, for us from my perspective, I've seen it, myself, I've been there, done that, so to speak. But I think it's amazing because the your generation, it's like y'all are rekindling in a fire between, but from this from this information that was prior. You know what I mean? And y'all absorbing it and just spitting it back out there. And it's like y'all bringing it back to life, man. So I got to give all y'all cats that the Gen Z, all our cats that are getting the holy
But we
tablets of
salute you though. I
Josaphat.
said this to you
Yeah,
earlier, and I apologize to cut you off, but you have to
no,
know
go
this.
ahead.
We salute y'all. If y'all didn't do certain shit, like yo, it's a shadow side to everything. People look at MLK. I heard read certain shit about MLK. I know you did too. Malcolm X, so on and so forth. It's certain things they had to do at a time. People don't get perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
look at a lot of shit. I ain't gonna call them right or wrong, but it made
Mm-hmm.
certain shit happen, and that's what we gotta acknowledge and move forward with. You get what I'm saying? You made certain shit happen. That's why we talking right now. You did that, and you're still walking in that right now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's
It,
true. No, it's
it
true.
is what it is.
Yeah, peace, Miss Baez. Peace, peace. But yeah, but no, and it is true. You know what I'm saying? Because it's interesting because a lot of the people today, the people that are on the mainstream today, like blue and red pill. You know what I'm saying? People understand these cats have been doing this stuff for years, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they've been putting in that work, yo. You know what I'm saying? Now they're the position now, and it's like now they're the kind of like the young elders of this community. So you're right. A lot of us, been there, done that, put the work in, and now we're representation of that time frame. But getting back to y'all, man, it's like it's different though. You know what I'm saying? Because you need that young army, you need them young gods and goddesses. You know what I'm saying? That are that awaken the youth up, that awaken the folks up. So let me ask you this: what was your what was your awakening journey like? Your spiritual awakening journey like?
Well, I'll say this: a lot of people don't talk about the bad side of this. I don't even want to call it spirituality, life.
Mm-hmm.
It's real life, right? So when you're dealing with my aunt personally, or just spirituality, in any way, you gotta give to that pain if you're dealing with God. You get what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest, this shit was hard. It wasn't easy. People think that shit is easy. People think that shit's sweet. You get what I'm saying? It's not sweet. It's not an easy thing to do. But when you do it, it is rewarding. It does give back. Reading the holy tablets, I still have not consumed the whole book. I haven't even consumed half of it because when you read it, it is a lot to take in when you actually know what you're reading.
Mm-hmm.
It really is real life. Like
Mm-hmm.
people don't realize like certain stuff you read applies to your life so well. You have to actually experience it.
Yeah.
You got to take your time with that. You can't. You
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
You can't rush real life scenarios. Like it's only
Mm-hmm.
like 48 Laws of Power, whatever that book is called. I read it so long ago. You can read those laws of power and apply them optionally. The word of God, you're gonna if you have got the awareness to get that shit, you're gonna get it. That's the thing. Like you put them glasses on, you can't take them off. I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
You probably did too. But
Yeah, no, it's interesting because like you even bring up the holy tablets. It's like for you to even, and not just you personally, but for anybody to even be able to pick up that book and grasp, um, it is when he said I read it cover to cover once or twice. Yeah, yeah, the holy tablet. See, just the fact that you can pick that book up and not run away when you see certain pictures, or whatever the case may be, just the fact that you can get that type of information already knows that you're in a certain frequency, in a certain, or even in a certain DNA, on a genetic line
sequence.
to receive that information. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like that is what we call outformation. You know what I'm saying? That's not your normal stuff that you find. And the interesting thing, the funny thing, the holy tablets is actually outdated. I mean, yeah, it's out of date. You know what I'm saying? It's like this newer information that's replacing that because that was made for a specific time.
I
But
100% agree.
still,
And I feel like
yeah,
that's one of the biggest things we got to talk about is the update. What you saying right now? I'm gonna let you finish.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, but no, I'm just saying, but still, regardless about the updates, that book is still it's a way to break a spell, the spell that we're dealing with for a very long time. It is regardless of if it's outdated or whatever. If you read that book, it's going to break the spell, that we've been put under. You know what I'm saying? But getting back to what I'm saying is that the work that you are able to you all this younger generation, it's just like y'all gravitate the ones of y'all. It's so easy for y'all, man. Y'all just get this stuff and just flow with it, man, and it's so beautiful, man. And it is a tribute to
I
y'all
appreciate you truly
generation and y'all souls
in
coming
my
here.
heart.
Yeah, man.
I truly
I
appreciate
see
you,
it all
God,
the
because
time,
like
man.
you see me, and I see you.
hmm hmm
Truly, you get what I'm
hmm
saying? And like
yeah.
I ain't gonna say it's always easy, but God does give grace, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just moving forward, I got notes. This is my first podcast. That's my fault. Whoever, you feel me? I know y'all want the fluidity. Um, Basically, I want to get into quantum entanglement and just people probably wondering like, all right, boom, like people want a better day life. I just know at the end of the day, people want a better life, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I just bring something up real quick.
Go
The
ahead.
past and the future are both here now in the quantum. You might be asking, what the fuck does that mean? What the fuck you talking about? You can change your emotions about the past to set it up for the future, and you can go to the future and go back to the past to set it up for the future. You get what I'm saying? You can set that shit up for the future right now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
mentally. In real life, you will be jumping dimensions, so to speak, and it get way deeper than that. I'm scratching the surface of what I'm actually saying, but you have to be prepared to face these things. You get what I'm saying? It is no rush to do though. I don't want nobody
Mm-hmm.
to feel rushed or raced or in competition when you are in self discovery, because ain't nobody path like yours. I promise you that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm. So you talk about the quantum entanglement. Like, what what is the definition you're giving the people, and what is an example of it that the people can relate with?
all right. So speaking on like when I was young, in 1111, speaking on the abyss and abyss energies, I was able to attract things that I wanted. Now I was a spoiled ass brat sometimes. You get what I'm saying? At a younger age, when that was allowed, boys to men type shit. Before I did get there,
Mm-hmm.
asking for shit, I got it. But sometimes I started really realizing the law of attraction had to do with a lot of things. You get what I'm saying? I was thinking there was something else going on. I'm thinking. I'm like, all right, boom. Like, if I ain't get it from my pops, I got it from my grandma. If I ain't get it from them, it got to the point I started doing YouTube myself. I got a video. Nobody really paid attention because I'm a kid. I did like 50, 60,000 views on YouTube. Minecraft
Mm-hmm.
tutorials, some random shit. But in my mind, I'm realizing what's really possible.
Yeah.
And that for me, it was a lot of small shit God showed me that set me up for
Mm-hmm.
later.
Yeah.
And people don't even realize like one, the power of what God will do for you if you go with God. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Move
Mm-hmm.
with that water. You feel me? Flow with that water. You get what I'm saying? Like Bruce Lee said.
Mm-hmm.
And then the power of forgiveness and understanding, we gotta do that. We the non-ether beings. Now, everything don't gotta get forgiven. Because a lot of things are foul. But what you can forgive, it is stronger than a lot of other shit, bro. You can forgive somebody, they can get fucking mad at you. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
If it's the wrong person. Because they might not be ready to be forgiven. They don't know how to handle that shit. They don't know how you did it. It may challenge their thoughts. Some people want revenge and base their life off revenge. I just posted something about this the other day. It's just some real shit. You get what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I feel like it's a lot of scenarios out here, but I'm not even here to speak on that. That's just really the quantum entanglement subject is more about like us realizing how much we got to do with shit. When we put these clothes on, when we go out, when we actually wear them, when we buy all this shit, when we are putting our dollars into our money, we could be using our dollar into our own fashion, our own food, our own this, our own that. Every fucking thing you could make in your name, damn near. We could do all this shit. We knew since was a young boy. We just didn't know they didn't want you to be the bosses and CEOs. I'm not going to speak too far on that shit, but you can do whatever you want. You could be a worker if you want. Not everybody wants to be the CEO or boss, and that's fine with me. But I'm just on the type of time where it's though you got to take the bull by the horns, and quantum entanglement will show you if you ask God. Certain areas of your life will show you this. You have control of this. You can make this better. Habits make your habitat. It's going to point out them habits though. Be prepared for that to come. You can't not be prepared for
Mm-hmm.
them habits to pop up in front of your face, and it's like, do you really want this better habitat? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's going to actually arise, and people have to be ready for that. I think that's the thing where a lot of people just get to a certain level. It's like playing a hard ass video game. You get to a certain level, and now it's a
Yeah.
demon. Now you demonize shit.
Yeah.
Now you got in a bad situation because you fucked up. Whatever the case may be, people got to
You,
really realize this is your journey and your perspective. Because if you
yeah.
paying attention to everybody else, you're gonna fuck up yourself.
Yep.
You're gonna
And
fuck up.
and just like that's a good analogy, a good example of dealing with the video game because you literally in a video game, regardless of how good you are, you can control your destiny in that video game. You know what I'm saying? Like just like life. You know what I'm saying? And if you're good at Mario Brothers, you can run through the maze. You know all the tricks to go down the secret holes to get all the coins. There's
Facts.
literally no difference between those video games and how life is. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to maneuvering in the matrix. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? It's real interesting. I know earlier we had a good conversation and we were talking about different things about just humanity overall. And it's funny because we were like on the same page so far. And it's like the way my perspective is, like, because I've been all around the world, I've met all different races of people. I've, good and they all, regardless, the good, the bad, and the ugly is in everybody. Now the ratios might be skewed. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to races, I've got to keep it real there. But the ratio of good and bad, of course, just evil people and stuff like that. That's got to keep it real. But it's like we're all our own, just like playing with the Sims. You know what I mean? We're all these avatars on this planet. You know what I'm saying? All connected to one source. And I think people really lose sight of that. And I think the main reason people lose sight of that is because people that know this make us lose sight of it. So there's a bunch of infighting and separation. Because, like, perfect example is like we always say, all is in all. You know what I'm saying? If all in this all, how's there separation? You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So one of the main things I want to speak on is all of this learning process has to do with the divine dance,
Mhm.
feminine, masculine principles,
Mhm.
masculine, feminine principles. I got this all written down. So
Mhm.
boom, when you really get into it, right? Right now, I'm not gonna lie. Before I even speak on a lot of this, my mom's side of the family, through the Islam, they was Muslim for most of their life. They really got more into I don't know how to explain it, but around like 2010 to like 2016, everybody did start. It was a certain level of awareness, but it was like people was like way more secretive about that shit. Like you was just learning to yourself if you was. People got more personal with religion. It was way less. People were less together. That did happen gradually. You know what I'm saying? As we are where we are today. So boom. Um, shit. It was one more thing I had to say. Hold the fuck up. I gotta make sure I say this before I say all this, bro. Boom. So I've been learning about Christ since I was a young boy. I went to a Catholic school freshman and sophomore year, right? So I was going to mass. I was seeing them do the Eucharist, doing the ceremonies. You feel me? We reading the scriptures, all this. I'm sitting there. I'm going through it. I'm learning, but at the same time, I'm confused. I'm confused on why I'm there. I'm confused on why a lot of this stuff is going on. But one thing that always did speak to me was Christ. Sometimes Christ, the energy of Christ, did speak to me. What I've realized is Jesus is a personification of us men in a lot of ways. You get what I'm saying? And he
Mhm.
also
Mhm.
Jesus was a real person as well. I agree with this. But I do think there
Mhm.
was multiple stories. Shout out to Ambassador Prince Michael. If you read on, I want to make sure I get all this right, bro. The Nazarite Scrolls. That's what they're called. I read those. I haven't read the whole thing. I've read some of it. All of this is based on truths. All of this Godship is based on truths and what has worked through God. There's multiple truths that are built upon each other and they make different degrees of truth. We know that. You get what I'm saying? So people find truth in all religions. I've actually seen this with my own two eyes. I've
Mhm.
experienced it. So that level of bliss and that level of grace in real life has allowed me to really take some information and sit down and be like, all right, boom, something else is going on here.
Mhm.
So boom, that's just that. Me being also in my eye, you get what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
ultimately, I never took a break from Christ, but from Christianity, I definitely did. I'm not Christian, but I was growing up a Christian. You know what I'm saying? So, boom, I'm now into my I now believe in my art. I now have faith in my art. You get what I'm saying? The heart, feather, balance, masculinity, femininity, and oneness through that. You get what I'm saying? Through all religions, truth exists. You get what I'm saying? And the ideals of my art actually are what a lot of things are based of as the commandments. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Divine feminine is the soil, or what we may call the soul. I won't say is the soul, but they have solar aspects. You get what I'm saying? They are the unknown, the mother, the receiving force. What the universe, the Eve gene is comprised of. You get what I'm saying? That triple blackness. You get what I'm saying? They are the sweet fruits of life. You get what I'm saying? You don't know what every fruit's going to taste like before you bite it, or every roller coaster ride is going to be like before you ride it. But that unknownness is the sweetness of life. That's what we learn as we progress. You get what I'm saying? Femininity, masculinity, the seed of life, the life bearer, the moving force, the father, the story, the personification of Christ. And I'm not saying that Christ does not have to do with a woman, but as you see in the Bible, they do not bring the woman up. I'm not saying that that's right. I'm just saying it is something going on there. If you read in between the lines, it's a lot. I'm just realizing a lot through experience that I'm not going to speak on here today, but it's a lot that's going on. It's a balance of masculine portal
So
energy and
so
feminine
let me
portal
let me
energy.
let me let me let me kind of go back a little bit because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get too far off the topic. So let's go, but let's kind of go back towards what I was asking you specifically about your spiritual journey. Can you walk us through how you got where you are today?
All right, boom. I turned 19 and I was with my goddess. Boom, we moving around at this time. I was around my mans. I said, yo, you want to go to Puerto Rico? At this time, my mans, he said, no. I moved around. I left. I went to Puerto Rico. Honestly, I've been around the USA around this time. I was doing music. I was getting very close with the industry. I was not in the industry, but I was I was going to South by Southwest, things like this. So I got to
Hmm.
see a lot of things that a lot of regular people did
Yeah.
not get to see. Gratitude to those people I was around for that at the time. You get what I'm saying? Moving forward, I turn 19. I go to Puerto Rico. I get with the people. Getting with the people and
Hmm.
on the soil is a whole different experience because you feel who you are, and that's
Hmm.
forced, bro. It's
Hmm.
forced. I didn't even know their language, and as I'm learning their language, I'm seeing the culture is growing on me, and I'm feeling who I am, and people are gravitating towards me as if I am God. You get what I'm saying? I'm
Hmm.
grounded in my perspective. You get what I'm saying? I am who I am. You get what I'm saying? I'm
Hmm.
Ramajevans, but I'm just saying I feel holy. I feel divine. I feel as I literally was activated. Like I felt things in me. I started eating fruit. I cut meat out my diet, all that when I was in Puerto Rico when I was 19, because like I started spiritual. So it wasn't just him, but that was the breaking point for me. It was one of his videos. I was
Hmm.
like, yo, like, let me actually enact this part into my life. Because like I
Hmm.
said, when I was born on a certain date, but I didn't really fully get into it. Like I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how much could this actually have to do with real life? Everybody thinks that. Everybody is like asleep at what really fucking sleep out here at one point. I can't take that away from myself. But
Hmm.
when it was time, it was time. I'm writing things into being quickly, you know, script photography, all that shit. I'm writing quickly. I'm manifesting things with the pen. What they say that the pen blood actually is the blood of the earth or the blood of Tiamat, however you want to say. Why kings used to write in pen, they used to dip it in pen. I'm learning all this shit. I'm actually writing. I'm actually throwing the frequencies on. I'm actually meditating. Damn.
So
IG
was
dog.
it was
IG
it
dog
was it
died.
was it was it kind of like, okay, so you had like, you went to Puerto Rico and you had like you made a connection.
It
Is
was
it
when I
like,
was sun gazing.
okay,
And in that
and
process, at first I
mm,
was sun gazing. At first I was sun gazing probably from the airport a bit. I
mm,
wasn't really doing it. I got there at night, but I was like thinking about that shit. I was looking at the stars and shit. I was moon gazing and shit. I wasn't really sun gazing. But that next AM, that next rising when I woke up, I was already on that shit. I don't know why. It was just, I do know why now. But at that time, I don't really recall me actually. I think it was literally God just showing me, yo, this is what you're dealing with now. Everything
oh,
was so new
you
to
cut
me.
off, you cut off on IG Live. I'm not sure if you know that.
I know. I said, yeah, that
You see
joint
that?
fucked up. I don't know. But I don't, it
Oh,
was,
okay.
everybody know when you come into this shit, it was a lot of things
Hmm.
you was aware of, but it's way too much down that rabbit hole that you wasn't for you to actually not feel like you're a baby again in this shit. You feel like a fucking baby. You get what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
we all have different paths and shit. But ultimately, I know when anybody has this spiritual awakening, bro, it is what it is, bro. And when I was getting that information, it was just flooding in. It's flooding in, it's flooding in. So I had to actually take time to go away from that. I realized to balance taking information from other things and start going within. So boom, my goddess at this time, we move around, we go to the beach. It's this meditating spot. Huge black rocks. They got Mary on it for some reason. Boom, Virgin Mary is on it. So boom, I wasn't really meditating for that reason. I just saw, yo, holy spot. It felt holy to me. I felt the rocks, everything. I meditate. The sun was literally over these rocks. It's over. I meditate. Boom, I'm getting downloads. The truth coming to me. I'm telling myself, yo, you are who you think you are. You get what I'm saying? God talking to me, walking me through everything that I ever had to. I'm gonna keep that conversation with myself for the sake of, you feel me? But it is what it is. Like, I'm realizing basically all this is coming to be that you feel me? It's real. Now, the process of grounding in that afterwards probably took about, I'm not gonna lie, like 2 to 3 years realistically. And it's not even because of where I'm at, it's because of where my mental is at. It's a lot of shit, as me and you both know, that goes on that a lot of people just don't know. So when you find out about that, and it's like, you gotta also deal with the ongoing reality of the game. In the rat race, it does have its toll. But once you get past that part, you cool. Definitely cool, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I can say about it.
So okay, so when you got when the spiritual awakening happened, what was the next step for you?
Honestly, I automatically found joy and actual passion in helping others and
Okay.
giving them the peace I was finding within myself. I honestly did. I was even finding myself sitting on the floor with a dog, feeding it. I'm not saying I didn't do that before, but I didn't never really sit on no floor with no dog trying to feed
Yeah.
this joint. And people coming up to me asking me where I'm from. Because I'm doing certain things they not
Yeah.
even, mind you, when you really in Christ consciousness, when you really in oneness, when you really in whatever you want to call clearness of mind and being one with God, you're not really thinking about the egotistical things that may come to mind when you are. And that's just real. But it honestly does give me a feeling of joy. The thing is, how many things do come to try to stop that in this day and age that we are changing right now? Because I'm going to use my word to change that. But
Yeah.
yeah, bro, I feel like the next step really, I don't want to say I'm nobody Messiah. I don't want to say that I'm nobody nothing. You get what I'm saying? Because like you said earlier, we in a new age. And I'm here to be who I am. You get what I'm saying? That's exactly what, whoever
Yeah.
I rise to be is what I will rise to be, because I'm still learning myself right now.
Yeah.
I could be King Ra. I could be King Rameses, the second, the third. We are all of our ancestors. People have to really acknowledge that. We are all of our ancestors. Atlantis, Kemet. You want to talk about people in ancient Greece? You want to talk about the Moors? You want to talk about anything? You get what I'm saying? Other races that
Yeah.
had to do, we was taking pictures with. And nobody wants to talk about these kind of things. You get what I'm saying? I ain't really going to get into it, but
All
at
right.
the end of the day,
So,
you just got to phrase us as the original people. That's just what I say, bro. It's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
what it is, bro.
Okay, I got you. So, how were you introduced to all those people you were talking about earlier? You know, Dr. York, Bobby Hemmett. How were you all introduced to? Was this like after your, after your awakening? Like, how did that all come into your life? How did these master teachers come into your life?
Well, I do have my cousin Mark. Boom. I'm not saying it was directly from him, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things, if I needed reassurance, now not
Mm-hmm.
everything, because you do got to deal with a lot of things alone. For a moment in time, I could ask him about it. He had a lot of knowledge, but to a certain point, as we all know, you have to go on your own journey. But
Mm-hmm.
simple things like, yo, what do I eat if I don't eat this right now? Because like motherfuckers think people be playing when they be saying, yo, what do y'all eat when y'all vegan? Some people do be being, you feel me, who they be. But some people honestly don't know what the fuck they eat. And that's just the God given truth. You get what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I just started eating fries at first. And then realizing, okay, it's not just lettuce. You got different proteins and shit you can put into your shit, different kales, different spinaches, different all this and that, whether it be GMO or not, like most of the other shit, you can get what you need. You get what I'm saying? So I found that out. He taught me a lot, gratitude to him. But he didn't do everything. There was a lot of things that I already did know, but there's a lot of things he did excel. I did watch a lot of Dolores Cannon. I did watch a lot of imagination videos. We don't know how critical imagination is in life, period. Just imagining
Mm-hmm.
things and just willing in things with your heart and your mind. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he just really reminded me of a lot of things that I might have knew, but I might have been thinking of letting go of, getting into the real world. Because like I said, this is when I was 19. You get what I'm saying? So it was a point in time nobody was there. You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying? Through my awakening, I was completely alone. And that's going to happen to everybody. You're going to have a dark night of the soul. Best believe.
Hmm.
They may stop, but it
Okay.
happens. It happens,
Yeah.
bro. It happens, bro.
All right. Well, let's. Yeah. So let me talk about this one thing that we were talking about earlier and kind of build on the golden age. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you talk about the
Mm-hmm.
golden age, and we were talking about it earlier, are you talking about the golden age in which what is your what is your description of the golden age, and can you explain exactly what that is?
So first off, I would say world peace, but I'm gonna say unity. I'm gonna say
Hmm.
unity. Everybody can be where they want to be, and this is kind of getting into the next topic. But a lot of people probably expect me to battle certain things and go against certain energies that are doing and being exactly what they are and where they're supposed to be. And I realize you're gonna waste a lot of time trying to do that instead of doing what you can do to motivate and push forward. Now I'm not saying a lot of things don't gotta get attacked because at the same time we need awareness of certain things. But sometimes people are so deep at a level. I've been at that point. I was overloaded, and something
Hmm.
that did make me laugh or make me reminded of, I'll say, what we call our ego, my lower self. Honestly, it allowed me to be grounded, and that's also in balance. That's also in my eye. That's also a principle that has helped me will forward. And if you have discipline to do the right things, it's going to help you get through life. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, boom, just speaking on free will, everybody going to get to what they get into. The sheep and the division are within the oneness. And it's no need to bash, like I just said, nobody on my part. Especially if y'all ever watched this movie. It was this movie I just said to my mans earlier. I forgot. It's called The Darkness Within. They had levels of what you know and what they will apply to you by what they know. I'm not going to say nothing else about it. Y'all can find out how real that is. That's all I'm going to say. But it's a real thing, bro. It's not. And it's
Okay,
not that I
but
have no
yeah,
fear
but I mean,
within
yeah,
my heart. I just
but no, no,
know
go.
I have to deal with the
I
things
want
that
to hear
I
you
do.
talk. I want to hear you build like in more detail about the golden age.
I'm
Um,
about to. I'm
okay,
about to.
go
We
ahead.
definitely should get there. Honestly, we had 4,000 years of slavery, whatever you want to call it. People have a little different of a date, but Nibiru, Planet X, whatever you want to call it, our new solar system is here. We got rare iron oxide in the air that everybody acting like they don't see. That's making the sky what it is. The sky was glitching open earlier, 2020. A lot of the chemtrails was doing certain things. A lot of the tech was doing certain things. A lot of the Skynet was doing certain things. 5G towers came, all that other, da da da. Not gonna say too much about it. It did what it did, right? I honestly don't think people realize this is all to prepare for the golden age.
Mm,
You feel me? We're bringing in peace. We are being one with that savior we speak of in any religion. Even if you're not in a religion, you will be your own savior. You get what I'm saying? You will be one with that
hmm.
savior if anything outside of you appears. Simple, bro. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah. No, no, no.
people gotta
I
know
agree.
that it was 4,000 years. We were in the age of Pisces. We are now in the age of Aquarius. You get what I'm saying? Things are working completely different. And one of the
Yeah.
hugest, this is
Yeah.
one thing I will say. I'm done giving
Hmm.
out the sauce because I gave out enough sauce. It's there. If people want them tools to enlighten yourself, you can start that based on the resources I have already provided. I'm going to give out the gems though. That's what I'm going to do. I'm still going to do that. The simple things that you can go look deeper into, I'm going to get at to you. Right? I'm going to give y'all the gems. I found out about carbon 7, and I've realized how much carbon 7, when you're speaking about 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, the carbon molecule, and carbon 7, the new carbon molecule. I don't know off the top of my head the new carbon atom frame. It actually has to do with a lot of shit. And as you know, as atoms are speeding up in frequency, it may look like an illusion of time, things are moving faster. We are actually going into a higher dimension. We are
Hmm.
actually going through this great awakening we
Dimensional
speak of
shift.
already.
Yeah. Dimensional
We're
shift.
already
Yep.
going through it. Like whether you like it or not, it already started. Like you can't
Hmm.
avoid what already happened. You could just go with, and it's mother nature.
Hmm.
You ain't
It's
being there.
true. It's true.
You
Yep.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Christ, what I've realized, has relation to the masculine portals and the force. Christ, this is what I wrote down. Christ gonna do what Christ do. The universe gives back to what you reflect from within. If you give to the universe, it's gonna give back. It might double it, it might quadruple it, but you gotta give that shit. Sometimes you'll see Christ move in ways where it teaches. There's a lot of wisdom I've seen through masculine portals, and that's what men are known for. And I'm not saying that's always the case. Shout out to my woman that's teaching this wisdom out here because y'all do it too. Big shout out. But you get what I'm saying? Like everything become real simple when you actually look into all this information. It's like God literally will guide you, but you have to have that much faith. You have to. So in this age, I do know that we all are coming into unity, whether we like it or not. I'm not saying we all, as in the ones that want to be where they be. That's free will. You get what I'm saying? I got that written down right here. People are
Yeah. Yeah.
literally, people
It,
are
it
literally
no,
going
it's
to.
a no, it's a good, and that's a very good point that you're saying. I mean, everything you're leading up to, just dealing with, it's inevitable for the attributes of this upcoming cycle to start to manifest into the people in our reality that we are seeing today. You know what I'm saying? People are trying to fight it. They're trying to, jab people up with poisons. They're trying to, um, block the sun and all these different things. But, you know, what you're saying is so true. This age of Aquarius, this time, it's inevitable. And yes, no, and what you're saying is true too, as far as peace, because you look back at the time in history. Yeah, there might have been wars and squabbles. There was a lot of times in which the world doesn't look anything like the world does today because that mindset, and not only that, the people that ruling it now weren't here. You know what I'm
They
saying?
think we're advanced. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No,
they
no, you
think
good.
we're advanced. Me and you,
Hmm.
we are. But I'm talking
Hmm.
about this shit, bro. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you take the floor, bro. But bro, you're speaking some real shit right now. I really apologize to cut you off, but bro,
No, no, you good. No, no, it's just I'm just agreeing with what you're saying because I mean, it's and also just dealing with, like you said earlier, free will, because even though we're going through this dimensional shift, like I was looking at a TV show recently, and a person on some of these people out here still are in the levels when they believe in politics. You know what I'm saying? They believe in these things, these programs that are put, they believe in religions. And that's okay. I'm not saying, anything wrong with it, but we're in a day and time in which the truth is being exposed in every aspect. I'm gonna keep it real, man. If you would have told me, 10 years ago, whatever the case, all this stuff that's being exposed now in Hollywood to the T was happening, I was just happy to watch the movies. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know all this stuff, but now it's a day and time. All that treachery is coming to the forefront, and that's also a part of, this age of Aquarius. You know what I'm saying?
I
Everything,
had to
the
find that out
truth.
myself. And as
Mm-hmm.
soon as I saw that door,
Mm-hmm.
turned around.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I ain't doing no false agreement. You hear me? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's real talk. As a musician, no, that's real talk. As a musician, you know what I'm saying. I remember. I mean, that's what I remember. Amon Ra was on here, and he was just talking about when he was doing music with Dr. York. Dr. York was like, "Yo, you're gonna have to do this yourself because that industry, they're not gonna let anything that you're trying to do for real in that industry." You know what I'm saying? It's not going down because it's that system set up just for I like to call it the regime, and that's actually one of the things we talk about tomorrow night on the podcast. But
people
that
have to
regime.
acknowledge how much involvement certain people have in that shit.
Hmm.
They can't
Yeah.
talk. There
Hmm.
is no talking. And when you do it, we see what happens. Now you have light warriors, but me personally, I thank God from my perspective every day. I didn't have to
Hmm.
do certain things.
Yeah.
I'm saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But
Yeah. 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 And it's true, man. Because I'm in music. So I've seen, I I've seen the sex, drug, rock and roll, and etc. That is as real as it gets, and it just goes on be way beyond different levels of that. But even saying all of that, but still, you know what I'm saying? This is the time everything. Just think of the things that when you just turn on the TV now or go on the internet now, think honest to God truths that you swore was true are now being just be debunked easily, day after day. It's like it is. Excuse me. It is a new reality. You know what I'm saying? It's literally in a new reality. The old program is broke, and now a new program is forming. But the new programming is being before being programmed by nature as to being, by man.
What people don't realize, like Star Wars, AI is not new. There's
Hmm.
R2D2s and the gold robot and all that other shit on other planets and shit.
Oh yeah, that's real talk.
All this AI shit is doing what it can while it can. You get what I'm saying? People don't realize
Hmm.
like it hasn't gotten out of hand because of the powers that be.
Hmm. Hmm.
To the extent that it did already,
Hmm.
we're seeing what the fuck's going on. We all experiencing it. But
Hmm. Yeah, it's a little different once your family, from 6,000 years ago, sat at the feet of the Moors, sat, you know, writing scribes, getting all this knowledge from the Kabbalah, and took all this information and shared it with your families and just pushing on to generation after generation to be able to use these metaphysics this information that you got from these great beings. And but when you use it in a selfish and manipulative way. You know what I mean? That is not the way that we as a culture, you know, ran things when we had power. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. I don't care what anybody says. It's just not.
I believe in community service. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, greatly. It's just how much I do it off the internet. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I'm ever going to get rewards that the internet sees as rewards for that. And I have received grace for that. In my own
Mm-hmm.
life, I do help people every day.
Yeah.
I've saved lives. You know what I'm saying? I just
Yeah.
haven't wanted the internet about it.
Yeah. No, I kind of agree with that, man. I do not kind of. I definitely agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Everything, your world, everything is in a reality show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everything you do, everything that you accomplish doesn't have to be shared with the world. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
I realized
I
that it's actual peace in that. Like
Yeah,
actual real
exactly,
life
exactly.
peace in
No,
that.
I agree with that. I tell people all the time, like, and I tell people even about this podcast. I kind of started doing it just for fun, but then it kind of, took a life of its own. But me being a musician, if I was not a musician, I would not be on the internet at all.
That's why
That's reality.
I'll say right now, it's in my character to apologize. If I do come off selfish, I had to get like this in order to be where I am. No, this is only where I'm starting as a student. As I'm learning, I am learning that teaching is a priority in order to enlighten further. You get what I'm saying? But
Exactly.
it is definitely something I'm getting into and I'm being patient with myself about. So just
Yeah,
being grounded
yeah.
in
I
that,
mean,
you feel me?
it's a tool. It's a tool.
It is.
It's a tool. And see, like I was saying, but when I was growing up, I'm gonna tell you something, man. That show, Ancient Aliens. You know the show Ancient Aliens.
Yes, sir.
That show, Ancient Aliens. Dr. York already had Ancient Alien shows on videotapes and DVDs back in the day. Same. If you go back to look at those his old tapes, you saw this. It was like the same format, and everything. The lectures, the graphics. You know what I'm saying? Back in the '90s, and the reason why I'm saying is that, you know, you can use this information as tools to educate. There's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's there for. It's just that it's like a small percentage of it's coming from a genuine righteous standpoint. You know what I mean?
I do
Because
want you
there's
to
a lot of
realize if you are
yeah,
new to my platform, I literally am dealing with the police.
mm,
And I'm not saying dealing with like me personally. I'm saying like they're on my ass.
mm-hmm,
And that really does come behind being a divine masculine right now. People don't realize this. I don't get on the internet and talk about this shit. because it's real
Mhm.
life. But
Mhm.
when I was in the hood, they really didn't want me to get out that motherfucker. And then
Mm.
the fact that I can say what I say,
Mhm.
I'm not even going to speak on my case because it's open right now. But
Mhm.
it's serious. You get what I'm saying? It's not a
Mhm.
joke. You have the grace of doing that right now, and it's probably because of some of your wisdom and where you're at.
Mhm.
Me personally, I probably have not achieved that level to achieve that grace, and I'm not saying that it won't happen, but I do have to learn enough to actually teach those things, and I know that myself.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I gotta actually get to that point to speak like that to people. You get what I'm saying? I can't.
Mhm. Well, I mean, you just gotta literally think about. Let's take the Egyptian mysteries for example. You know, in those temples, you had to be 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? To even be, become a priest. So you had to study for 40 years of your life
Right.
in the temples, learning as a scribe, probably cleaning toilets, whatever the case may be, washing donkey butts, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. 40 years of your life you had to dedicate to everything that needed to be given to you to become a priest. So, you know what I'm saying? Unless
I
just are
thank you
able
for
to.
telling me that,
Mhm.
and it's actually giving me info
Yeah.
because in my first year and a half, probably awakening, I had like aggressive ass awakening. I found myself mad as fuck. You get what I'm saying? And just
Me
like
too.
I'm trying to teach the world shit. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not ready to even do. And then at
Mhm.
that, everybody else ain't ready to hear that shit. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
and that's the beauty about these master teachers that we talked about that were able to, literally, especially like Dr. York's situation, literally open, literally open societies, secret societies, mystical societies, in which you can literally hone and craft your being. You know what I'm saying? Sufi orders, all these different things, these different the different schools that we have set up, you know what I'm saying, in modern day, of course, that will enable you to start to hone and craft your being outside of the normal dogma that religion gives. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you start to get a point and you really start to start developing and growing gods and goddesses. You know what I'm saying? Breaking out of the program of the matrix and embracing self and embracing the knowledge that the ancestors have you give you with that wisdom as well. Once you connect with that, then you're going straight
I
to the
have,
source.
and what I could say is I may not walk in it every step of the way, but my higher
Hmm.
self is with me, and it's always
Yeah.
able to be connected to me. You get what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
connected to me,
Hmm.
but to be here with me, and this I could bring it at any moment. You get what I'm saying? But there is ignorance in doing that while not
Yeah.
knowing. I get exactly what you're saying, and I agree.
Hmm. Hmm.
I get what you're saying. So I
Yeah.
just I can't lie. I would be lying to myself if I was to be more ignorant because I didn't know what I was growing to be.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No.
You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Exactly. No.
So
Yeah. 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 No. Yeah. That makes. Yeah. You would be because at least it's like if you're trying to if you're trying to put, let's say, a TV stand together, you know, and you have the instructions, at least you're aware enough to use the instructions to try to put this TV stand together. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to bypassing the instructions, just trying to put it together by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Um,
right.
you know what I'm saying? That's at least you are using the tools that you're given to get to where you're trying to achieve and what you'll ultimately get there. You know what I'm saying? Because this place is deep, man. I think about this all the time. Like because all of us, most people that are melanated, especially men or some females as well, but they play sports growing up, right? And I'm just thinking about like how much time and effort, how much distraction was placed in our life as as small kids on stuff like sports and different things. A whole bunch of different things, all distractions, because on the flip side, these other people, all they do as soon as their children are born, soon they're born, they just worry about excellence and being the best they can be. You see what I'm saying? So because they have the knowledge, they have this knowledge, they have these programs in line, but no, we waste a lot of our time doing nothing because of the programs. Just like you said, originally in our conversation.
One thing I can't take away from certain lessons I did learn while I was asleep. It was certain lessons I
Hmm.
did learn while I was asleep, like especially with Generation Z. Like we go real deep. Like a lot of people get it confused. I had to speak on this too. People get our awareness confused with sensitivity, and a lot of the times that shit is completely different. People don't know
Hmm.
how to
Yeah.
handle that in my generation sometimes, and they may do certain things because of it, and vice versa. Sometimes they do know how to handle it, and people will manipulate. Me
Hmm.
personally, I'm growing. I find myself falling shit every other day, but I walk with God. You get what I'm saying? As we all do.
Hmm.
I ain't perfect, but
Hmm.
it's just like I'm finding myself in the loop. You go ahead. I'm finding myself in the loop, bro. Probably getting tired.
Hey man, no, it happens. I mean, believe me, it happens to all of us, especially everything you're talking about right now. Like this is new, and if this is new to us, you know what I'm saying. And regardless of Gen Z, Q, whatever, because of this
Right.
transition that we're making in the shift, I'm gonna tell you straight up, man. And me and my friends, we talk about this all the time. I be, some of my, especially the sisters, some of my, my priestesses, you know what I'm saying? I talk to them, I call them up, they be like, yo, Zoe, do you feel this? And I'd be like, yeah, I thought I was the only, you know what I'm saying? This whole paradigm, this whole reality, this whole third dimension, if you are conscious and aware and in tune with it, you can feel it, man. You know
I
what I'm
can feel it
saying?
right
And it's
now while you're
not,
talking.
yeah, yeah, it is not a easy thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not a smooth, it's something, it's like it's like when you know you got to go rake leaves for a whole day somewhere and you don't want to do it, it's uneasy, you know what I'm saying?
People don't realize why I take my time.
Yeah.
You have to take your time. If you
Yeah.
don't take your time, then you're fucked.
Well, just like what he's Dr. York, he's always tell us what is it? It's like taking a, what does it say? A long walk on a short path. Is that right? Did I say it right? A long
It
walk. Yeah,
is,
long walk on a
but
short path. Yeah.
you
You know,
gotta look
long.
at it that way as well. Because if you don't, it's the rabbit and the tortoise.
Mm-hmm.
You get what
It's a
I'm saying? Same
marathon.
thing.
Yep, yep, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it is. I mean, it's yeah, man. It's not an easy thing, but the interesting thing is that we're all here, the ones that are here that are able to have these conversations, that have that fire lit in them. We're the ones here that have made an agreement to be here, wrote a contract to be here at the specific time for the specific reason. So you know what I mean? That right there in
That's the
itself,
key right there.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be a part of, to be a part of, that that graduating class, what I'm saying? If you want to call it that. But yeah, man.
It is
It's
hard though. People don't
yeah.
realize that it is very serious. It is very
Mhm.
it's very trying. It's a trying thing.
Mhm. Yeah, man.
But that's as far as it'll get if you have faith.
Mhm.
People don't realize that if you fall, you chose to do that. That's part of the
Yeah.
lesson though. That's part of the lesson ultimately.
Mhm.
That's how we
Yeah.
got here anyway, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, because you're your own destiny. You can make your own reality. You know what I mean? As much as you can bend the matrix and as much as you can manipulate it, you can make. Just like you were talking earlier about how at a young age you realized that you were able to do certain things, and you know getting confidence because besides the fact that that you can do certain things and say, wait a minute, if I was able to, you know gather, get $5 in a day to get that, that's, the baseball cards, whatever, you're like, damn, maybe I can get 20,
I was
or
able
maybe
to
I can
help
get a
others
hundred.
with it too, but what I kind of became closed up because of this too. People
Hmm.
manipulated me because of that.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
They see that
so
light. Yeah, 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 yeah.
it's a learning process, bro. It's all a learning process, bro.
Yeah,
That's
it
really
is,
all I can
man.
say. Like I'm
Hey,
a student
hey,
every day,
bro,
bro.
bro. If anybody that watches this doesn't realize this life is nothing but a school, literally, that all this place is a school. You know what I'm saying? And everything that you do in it is a lesson. You know what I'm saying? And everything you do has repercussions. You know, you wanna lie, cheat, and steal. You're not gonna get away with it. You know what I'm saying? You want to do
It's
whatever the
karma.
case may be. Yeah, man. You know, and it's attached to all of this. The sooner you figure out that life is a school, and you know what I'm saying, you literally, you might as well just say you're being watched all the time and graded for everything you do.
No, I know that for a fact.
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
thing is, you can't. You'll fuck up taking it that. You have to take it that serious, but you have to be
exactly,
grounded as well. If you're
exactly.
not grounded, you're done. And then
Yeah.
another thing I realize a lot of people don't realize is that when you come into your awakening, you're going to face me personally. I'll say this. I'll put this out there. I faced all of my childhood traumas almost immediately.
Yeah,
So it was what it was. But
yeah.
people got to realize it's not common. Some people can hide trauma. Some people choose not to. Some people have no choice.
Hmm.
We have conditions that we've labeled. Some people that are in between realms because they can't get things together. And it's not
Yeah.
that that's a problem. That everybody has
Hmm.
different walks with gods, with God.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So certain people believe in different gods. Me
Hmm.
personally, every god, every deity they point out reflects something within us.
Hmm. Yeah.
One of the greatest thing I can't. It's not that civilization has to be what it is today and the new thing that we walk for, but I will use the wisdom and knowledge that us as a people use them and apply it to my
Hmm.
life as I will with other knowledge I learned. You get what I'm saying? But
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting. Somebody just said we failed. That's why we're here, stuck in this plane of existence. And and that's a very interesting way to look at it. And I don't think it's too far fetched to even say that, because it's kind of like, especially dealing with past lives, and especially dealing, you know what I'm saying, with things like, things, once you becoming the knowing, and even having the mindset to say something like that, that there's something more than just life, that you're supposed to wake up, buy a house, get a 401k, and go to college and for
you
your
got to
favorite,
build your soul, man. That's why we came here. It's a
yeah,
school, bro. Like
yeah, what I'm
once
saying?
you really realize that, a lot of things become second priority. If not
Yeah,
everything in the matrix should become second
yeah,
priority. It shouldn't even half the time. I'm staying grounded, bro. That's all I'm doing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
listen to
yeah,
God's
yeah.
call. I listen to God's call. I listen to God's call, bro. That's all I do. You
Hmm.
get what I'm saying?
No, it's no, no. I'm with you, man. And it's just like you're saying. It's you have to take life serious.
Facts.
I mean,
So
I
that's
mean,
why
no, seriously, yeah.
when you said we all fail and we're all here because we failed, it's like people you gonna fail every day. Like sometimes, like I could drop the L right now. I can say
Hmm.
I failed to hold the L in my hand. I could work out and fail to do a set. We learn from failure. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
It's
Exactly.
not that we gotta look at it and soak on it. We gotta learn from it.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
peace is achievable. Unity is achievable. It probably seems so mystery and fairy tale because of society and how we were
Hmm.
raised. But what I've realized in my life that it is very achievable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It
Anything is.
is.
Yep. It
It
is. No, no.
is.
I agree. I agree. And anything literally that you put your mind to, literally, you can manifest it. You know what I'm saying? There's no if, ands, buts about that at all. You know what I'm saying? So Oh man. Whew. This is an interesting build, brother. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, hold on a second. See if I lost. Oh, I think I lost him. All right, well, I guess we lost a good brother. Anyway, if y'all still live with me, you know, I did want to thank y'all again, sticking in Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. We have another amazing podcast tomorrow night. Some long-term followed musicians. We're gonna talk about the importance of owning your masters as a musician. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, yeah, I know we still hear you. I think he fell off, but it's cool. We can build anyway. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to talk about long-term musicians. I'm talking serious musicians that have been in the business for years, on the road with major acts. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to talk about if you're a musician, please tune in because we're going to be talking about this, the importance of owning your own masters, protecting your intellectual property, and all that good stuff. I was watching this for all y'all musicians out there. This is, but regardless, they'll listen. I was watching this interview with Steve Vai. Steve Vai is like a guitar legend, and he was talking about he went up to Frank Zappa. Frank Zappa is also musical legend. He went to Frank Zappa and he said, Frank, tell me something about the music business. He and Steve Vai was like, he was expecting all this, heavenly knowledge and all this information and stuff. And Frank Zappa just, said to him, you know, learn about publishing. You know what I mean? And pretty much keep your masters. You know what I mean? So that's the importance. That's why Michael Jackson, Prince, that's all the stuff these people were fighting for. And you got to own your intellectual property. You know what I mean? But that's it for me tonight. You know what I'm saying? I guess the brother got cut off, but it's all good. Please tune in tomorrow night. It's gonna be a wonderful, wonderful topic. I appreciate your. Yeah, look, they said incorporate your name branding. Okay, yeah, well they definitely they definitely know what they're talking about. But yeah, all that stuff is important. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff is important, and it's a little bit different today because the music industry's kind of changed. So it's not you're not so heavily, you know, you don't have to get a 360 deal. You know what I'm saying to be, um, to make it. You can have talent. You know what I'm saying. You can have a little army behind you, but they don't have to be Sony or whatever the case may be. A lot of these people, they just get, big management companies that are successful and they navigate through them. They don't have to, own people, you know, half of everything they do. Half, you know what I'm saying? That those days are done. But besides that, what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all again, what I'm saying, listening. Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast. If you haven't already, please go to polka dot rabbit podcast.com. Pick up my book, Bicultural Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. I'm gonna more and more trying to get my release date on the next book. We just have to we're iron out some few things. So besides that, I'm out of here. Peace and love.